Thank you very much for clicking on this video. If you don't mind, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. All right, let's get it. Today, we have Total Drama, the wolves of Total Drama versus the sheep. And let me explain how I differentiate them. For the wolves, it is people who are not afraid to make immediate moves or just be mean in general, as long as it gets them to where they need to be. They're usually the ones where you're just waiting for them to do something like, all right, what's going to happen this episode? What kind of bull? And then we have the sheep, usually those who try not to put much of an opinion out there, let alone try and execute a plan to get someone out or something devious. These people usually just go along until they eventually get voted out. They don't got the backbone, you could say. Keep in mind, everything is only my opinion. Please make sure to comment down one person from each team you would like to see win. So immediately as this season starts off, I don't really think that just because you were on a season together with someone, I don't think that's going to be a huge playing point in this, because DJ and Sadie just do not care if they were both on island, and I promise you, Scary Girl does not care one bit that Bowie's in here. However, she probably does like the fact that Damien in here. This does make sense considering she is like a wolf and he would be the sheep kind. Now for Eva, this means a lot. Usually I try not to mention this, but this would canonically be like her second time playing in general, so I think she would start off the ground running, and immediately I feel like she would align herself with the like of Joe and Lightning. Now these contestants are evil because they know they can afford to be. They know in challenges they are strong. They know they can probably help themselves if they need to. They can afford to be mean. Some others, however, rely on their wits, their smarts, their strategies, and alliances, such as Heather, Bowie, and Scott. You could also argue Alejandro, but I doubt Heather would want him in this alliance. Alejandro probably going on to the strength team, or at least portion of it, seeing that Heather's completely on a different alliance. Oxymoron to Alejandro. And then we have Julia, who I definitely think would go over here to Heather and Bowie's side, not only because of familiarity, but I think she would go on this side because it's more like her group and her clique. I don't think Julia would really mess with these people. Now for the sheep, I feel like all of them are definitely greeting each other, where these people are like determined they have a second chance. These people are happy they have a second chance, if that makes sense. They're honestly just having like a good time. I do feel like, however, Sammy and Ella would definitely work together, probably with Kitty and Dawn. I feel like this would be one big alliance right here. They all like each other. And then we have Sam, who probably definitely gets along with Sadie, and not only does he get along with Sadie, he gets along with Dakota, obviously. Junior realistically goes over to this side, and I feel like Dave and Damien would actually kind of be good friends because of the whole smarts thing, and they like try not to implement themselves too much in this game in the manner everyone else does. Now obviously as of right now there are just a couple free agents, but what I believe the first team to win are probably the Wolves. They could definitely save that kind of confliction for another time, and I think it would be interesting to immediately dive into the sheep having to like do their own game instead of like, oh, maybe we'll see what happens next time. And just looking at the dynamics of it, the whole challenge dynamics, the social dynamic, I feel like the person with the weakest placement in this team would definitely be Dave. I don't know if anyone would go to bat for him except Damien to save him. And even DJ is very closely aligned with Dawn and Ella, and probably even Kitty. He, however, just kind of aligned himself with Damien, and that's about it. The people on Packatail didn't mind he was annoying, but these people do. Now, as much as I hate seeing Amy team getting immunity, meaning she is safe, I just do think they would win once more, throw them back into like the fighting position. And after seeing Dave go, I don't think Damien's just gonna like give up our haul. I believe he does talk to DJ. I feel like Dawn actually really likes Damien because, you know, she can read the spirit and stuff, and so I think out of everyone she probably actually likes him the most, and they probably talk this three right here, maybe even including Ella, which just leads me to the ultimate point of not only are Sam and Dakota a obvious pair and people would obviously connect the two as in votes and power, but everyone is extremely aware that Dakota is filthy rich, and honestly that's a lot. That's all you really need to be voted out second episode. And maybe if Dakota was on this team she would do a lot better because people are like kind of in her clique over here, but people on the sheep, I don't know if Dakota really messes with any of them. Alright, this is a double elimination, meaning one person from each team, actually you know what, let's make it two people from each team will be safe when their tribe goes to the campfire ceremony. However, everyone else is up for elimination. So for the plot point, I think the two people gaining immunity on the Wolves team, on brand, it would be Heather and most likely Joe. Now for the sheep, I would like to extend the immunity to Damien and Junior, even surprising himself. Now on the Wolves team, there is a huge push to try and get Scary Girl out due to her not being really close with anyone. However, on the other hand, with Heather being completely safe. I think this is definitely where she feels confident enough to strike at Alejandro. So even though it is a close vote between the two, I am going to say Alejandro gets out here, which I think would surprise the viewers because everyone expects him to go far. But for him to get snuffed out this early, you're like, oh, okay, well, this game really can have anyone go out at any moment. Now, as sad as it is to see him go this early, I just think it makes complete total sense for Sam to probably get the boot next. He kind of has a Dave situation going on, and not only that, but he's probably moody from Dakota being booted off. Sam, Dakota, y'all were just kind of placement holders. You did a good job though, congrats. All right, now obviously I'm going to make the Wolves lose now. The Sheep has had enough damage to them, and I know they're itching to finally get people out that they do not want to hear anymore. Duncan, Scott, and Amy, I feel like this is probably a trio within itself, and they kind of want to take a hold of this game because Duncan isn't one to just kind of like view stuff and let it happen. They know that some people need to get clipped pronto, which is why I definitely think they make a big move to get Julia out, especially this early. RP Julia. They had a little bit of screen time with Heather. You know what? I'm gonna make them lose once more because I kind of know who I want the plot to be against. Because I don't think it takes a whole bunch of brains for everyone to realize, it's definitely time to get Heather up on out of here. She is the hugest threat and competitor to most literally anyone. This next elimination is a purge double elimination. It's going to be a really goofy, wacky pogo race. If you fall off, you probably gotta go back like 40 feet. Explosives, oil spills, chef, a whole bunch of stuff to just mess everyone up. The first 8 to complete this are this group right here. I just feel like all of them would be pretty good at like pogo stick or whatever like that. They have the advantages to win this challenge. And now the next 5 to be safe would be these 5 right here. And I think you might see where I'm going with this. I'm sorry, it's gotta happen. It's just gotta happen. RIP the twins. Everyone will now be split up on the tribes, and this is gonna be a random draw. All right, here are the 2 new shuffled teams. Honestly, not bad, not bad. All right, so I'm gonna say that the Shallots get to go on this one. The Wolves a little bit nervous now, and they're kind of already aware that the team is a little bit stronger than theirs, and so when they recognize the fact that their team isn't as strong as the other one, I feel like these 3 come up with a plan. They probably get Damien on board, where Dawn, Junior, Z, and Ella, they all have their own plan to vote off Scott. So it ends up being a tie between Scott and Junior, and if there is a tiebreaker, I'm so sorry, Junior. Scott said that's too easy. Now, Sadie did just lose Dawn and Ella, which were like her closest two, but she still does have Kitty and DJ, and I think these 3 are very, very afraid of like the Wolves are on their team, especially after they lose this challenge. But I think immediately Jacques would use this to his advantage, going over to them, trying to get like a sense of what they want to do. Like, if I were to flip, who would you guys want to target? And after hearing the answer is Duncan, I think it's a no-brainer for him. And not only that, but Bowie, I definitely think him and probably Scary Girl would definitely be aligned to also vote off Duncan. Scary Girl might actually like Duncan a lot, but it would not be able to save him. All right, Shallots, congratulations. Y'all get to go on one more. Now, I feel like Dawn and maybe even Ella are trying to persuade Damien, like, hey, come over here. Don't vote with them. Vote with us. And he is on the fence about it, but I feel like Eva has noticed some things of her own, and she takes Damien over. She's like, hey, Damien, I noticed that Scary Girl is giving you problems, and I know you don't like her. If you vote with us, stick with us, not only will we promise you safety, but I promise as soon as we hit merge, Scary Girl is going to be the first one gone. And Damien immediately loves to hear this. He only has one exception. That's to not get Dawn out, and Scott hates this answer, but at the same time, he would much rather be safe. RIP Ella, you tried your best. And now Dawn and Z are really flabbergasted. I'm gonna give them a break. I'm gonna let them win this one. The shouts go into the tribal, and I feel like Katie, oh my god, I meant Kitty, I definitely feel like she would be up to flipping on Jacques, especially if it was brought up by Joe. And not only that, but I think everyone would probably be in line to get Jacques out, so RIP, which means we are about to get to the final 10, and once they hit that means they are in merge. And the first 6 people guaranteed in merge: Lightning, Scott, along with Dawn. DJ, Scary Girl, along with Joe, which means 2 out of these 6 are about to unfortunately be eliminated. Kitty and Eva are both safe from this game. Hey, I'm sorry, Sadie, Z, both of y'all, this is where your time comes. I'm so sorry, Sadie, but hey, at least I made sure you got out on the pink one. All right, so immediately they are happy they made merge, but I think terrifyingly they realize that the sheep are kind of losing. And so when Lightning wins immunity, I think an immediate plan goes into effect to show Damien that they were loyal. The heroes are not the heroes, but the sheep would definitely go along with it because it is getting out a wolf, and Scary Girl has no ties to anyone. Dawn wins this next immunity, guaranteeing her safety, and I think the 3 being Eva, Joe, and Lightning are starting to freak people out, so it's definitely not to my surprise that Lightning gets out right here. He just won immunity, he's still talking the shablam. The final 8. Now, at this point in the game, the villains are all kind of, for the most part, just kind of cool and chill with each other, and I think these 3 are definitely pissed at Damien for like just keep flip-flopping and betraying. And so I won't lie, I think Damien dug himself into a grave. Now this double elimination, I already kind of knew what was about to happen, and this is going to be Dawn and Scott. RIP those 2. It would definitely make sense if Dawn lost and like took Scott with her. Now these 5 did a lot to get where they are, but I just gotta be frank, RIP 5th place DJ. You tried, my boy. Hey, I appreciate you coming on the show. See you next time, because DJ definitely gonna be more videos. Now this is just me trying to debate what would the 2 best winners be, especially if Kitty were to win immunity here. I think the person she would go after would be Joe, just because out of everyone's attitude, I feel like Kitty doesn't like hers the most, especially her attitude towards others and their feelings and whatnot, like a Baika type of situation. Which means low-key, I gotta say, congratulations, Kitty and Eva. These 2, especially Eva's part, they both played a game that I think would get them here to this point, especially on the winning terms of it. Just keep in mind, everything is only my opinion. Let me know if you guys like this. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I dare every single one of you to have a good day. See you in the next video. Bye.